We've got our top three finishers from today's Supersport Race 1. Our winner today, Matthew Skoltz. Second place, PJ Jacobson. And third place, Cameron Peterson. We'll get started with Cameron. Came down to the last lap with Blake. Drafted him by at the line. But before that, you had an awesome race with PJ. And you ran off in one. You kept running wide in one. I understand what you were trying to do there, but you just couldn't get it stopped. Then finally you did run off, and then it was a matter of having to catch back up to Blake and having that last battle. So you were pretty busy the entire race.
Yeah, definitely pretty busy. The first few laps, Matty's pace was pretty damn quick. So I was just trying to match his pace and see if I could get back onto his rear wheel. There was that 0.4, half a second of a gap, just kind of for those first few laps, and I just made one too many mistakes trying to get back to his rear wheel. I could hear PJ right behind me, and again went into turn one, ran wide. Again, Matty's really, really quick through the first sector, and our bike's pretty good on the brakes, so just trying to do it in the wrong places, trying to make it up on the brakes, and then ran off track. Dropped quite a long way back, and at that point I honestly thought the podium was out of the question, and just put my head down, was able to catch Blake, and he's a hard little bugger to pass. Kid's really good on the brakes, and like I said, I've been pretty quick through the last sector all weekend, so I was just able to time it and get him to the line.
It seemed like a bit of refuse to lose actually with Blake at the end there. You were like, I got to do this.
Yeah, I mean, just with making those stupid mistakes, I knew I had pace to be with PJ and at least fight for second place. And I was pretty pissed off with myself and my helmet. I was saying some words to myself, and I was just like, there's no way I'm not finishing on the podium in this race. So I did everything I could, and luckily just timed it to perfection.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Second place today, PJ Jacobson. It's his 10th podium of the year. Also, you broke a lap record here for Supersport that had gone all the way back to J.D. Beach. And what year was that, Sean?
2018.
So, really long lap record. You broke that on, I don't recall what lap, but fairly early on. That was after your first lap where you had a little contact with Blake Davis. Kind of screwed you up as far as trying to keep pace with Matthew.
I had a decent start, and then I made a pass, and then kind of bounced me back a little bit. So then after that, I think that's when I put my head down, because Cam and Matty here were they were gone, So basically, I guess that's why I did the fast lap, But after that with Cam, it was a good race, We just he kept passing me back in turn one, and then I don't know if I passed him back or not, but it was a really good race, and unfortunately he made that mistake in one, so then the gap broke, But we got second. So I just want to thank my team. They did a great job. We found some stuff, I feel like, in the second qualifying. So I feel pretty good with the bike and stuff, and I feel like I was riding really, really well the whole race. So I really honestly don't think I could have done much more with what I had in myself and the bike. So just want to thank the whole Ray Hall Ducati Moto team, and they did a good job.
All right, thank you. Is the track difficult to pass on? It kind of appears like that way when we're watching on TV. It seems like there's only really a couple of spots. Is that true?
No offense, but we're all here to race and stuff, and guys out there are here to race MotoAmerica and race, but some guys, they pick the wrong lines when they're moving over.
Lappers you're talking about?
Yeah, lappers and just other riders, even in qualifying and stuff. It's they go the opposite way of what you're actually thinking as a racer. So I would agree that most of us here would agree on that. So it was quite difficult this whole weekend with that stuff. But hey, I know they're all trying and stuff. It was just, even in the lappers in the race was a little bit. I got bound up in some. It was a little bit sketchy sometimes. But yeah.
Okay.
Top of the hill there. That's at the top of the hill. That one there.
Our winner today, Matthew Skoltz. It's his 5th win of the year. They didn't show you a lot on TV because they generally go to where the battle is. So you'd take that every day, right? But it didn't appear to us watching that you put a wheel wrong or made any mistakes. Is that actually the case?
Yeah, the biggest, mistakes I made. Just what PJ was kind of saying, that in qualifying there's a massive problem with guys sitting on the race line. You know, it is one thing if guys are slightly slower and you're coming up on them in a qualifying, that's fine. But if fast guys are touring on the race line, that's a serious problem, and it's something that we've had to deal with here. I think a lot of the front guys have been dealing with that. You know, the race now as well, the one lap I did like a 28.4, because again, you know, there were 3 back markers, the blue flags were there, and they out there, you know, racing together, which is all fine, you know, but just, you know, if you catch them in corner 7 all the way up to corner 12, you can't pass. You know, this is a very tight, twisty track, and the race line is, you know, 2 foot wide. You know, so that kind of like messed me up a little bit in the middle part of the race, but otherwise I was just really happy, and I was able to kind of reel off, you know, 26 threes, 26 fives for, you know, the first 10 or so laps, and kind of once I noticed that I had a couple second gap, I was, you know, running hard 26s comfortably. The R9 has been working great here. From the first session out, I think I had, you know, a 0.7 gap, so felt really confident, kind of took my eye off the ball. We didn't change too much in qualifying 1, and all these guys caught me, so I woke up this morning for qualifying 2 angry, and that kind of helped me push a little bit in some of the sectors that are a little bit faster that I was worried about crashing yesterday. I've just been, you know, maybe just worrying about going down, and like I said at the last race, just thinking too much about the championship and not just riding the motorbike. So I think this race I went out there, knew what I could do, and just rode free, you know, not kind of thinking who was behind me. I didn't look back once, because that's kind of something that I have been doing. I've been looking back, looking to see if it's Blake or Cam, I'll ride fine, and if I see PJ there, I start riding tight and trying to brake too late, and I forced myself not to look back once, and I think that helped me just to kind of keep that pace. But overall, thanks to the teams, you know, my crew chief Jordan, Tyler, Josh working on the motorbike, it's been a really great weekend for me. I think I've led almost every single session, won this race, but obviously I know PJ's picked up the pace, Cam's going to figure something out, Blake will be there tomorrow, so I know that if I'm able to get it out front, I better keep my nose clean and focus and keep those laps in the low 26s.
We're not used to seeing you emotional. And it's not saying you don't have emotions, but we're not used to seeing them. And then at the podium, you kind of showed a little something, but we're not sure why.
Yeah, my neighbors, when I first moved into my house in 2019, you know, I almost lost my foot at the halfway through the 2020 season. They were there mowing my grass, cooking me food, coming over. You know, when Kiara wasn't here because of COVID and bees and stuff, that they would have me over to their house, you know, for Thanksgiving and everything else. And those guys are like family to me. So to see them there and crying was something, yeah.
All right, well, that's awesome. Congratulations to all 3 of you guys. Okay, we've got our top 3 finishers from today's Superbike race here at Virginia International Raceway. Our winner, Bobby Fong, second place, Cameron Beaubier, and third place, Josh Herron. We'll get started with Josh. He's our championship points leader. The lead got cut into a little bit, but they're not overly close yet. You were 26 seconds behind. That's not the Josh we've seen of late. What's the reason behind that?
This track to me it felt like Barber, kind of like we were able to do a fast lap, but then it just plateaus and I just stay there. And this time it was really, everybody had, you know, lack of drive grip, but I just couldn't keep the thing from wanting to come around when I was getting down in the first gear. It felt like I was almost stopping in the corners, especially turn 7 in the back and turn 11 at the top of the hill, which if you look back the last 18 years of me racing here, turn 11's been my spot. I'm able to pass everybody on the brakes right there. That's always my good spot, and that was like the absolute worst spot that I can remember the last 5 years on a motorcycle today. So we missed this morning session. That obviously hurt us a little bit. Not a ton, because the guys only got a couple good laps in, but I just couldn't keep the thing under me. It felt like it was just wanting to throw me off, entering the corners everywhere. And you know, if you've rode a motorcycle, you know whenever it starts skating around, when you're trying to lean into the corner, there's nothing I can do. So no matter, and then whenever I was driving out, it was like Barber, where it was just so much TC because the thing was spinning up so much that I just couldn't drive forward. So super frustrating race. Not where I wanted to be for sure, but I was lucky to hold on to third because I think Gagne and I know Sean was there. So yeah, just happy to get third, honestly.
So you had a good battle with those two. Gagne was kind of there the whole time. It never really got close enough.
Yeah.
But Sean Dillon Kelly did. Did that surprise you? Was it a good battle?
I mean, it didn't surprise me because he was faster than I was in qualifying, so I knew he was going to be there, and I knew with how slow I was going, I thought that those guys would have just dusted by me. I wasn't like trying to really be protective until the last 2 or 3 laps. So no, it didn't surprise me, but the moves that Sean put on me on the last lap would have been like a 4 races in a row double long lap penalty in MotoGP these days. So I was surprised about that. Like he hit me hard. The first time he rubbed me, left some marks on my leathers, like that surprised me. But it was fun.
That was
and
one.
yeah, and then this time though was like just a blatant like there's no room. I'm not going to get by anywhere else. Like I'm making room. Slammed in the side of me, fell off the inside of his bike, almost took me out. Then knew what he did, and then waited for me to go by on the brakes, knowing that he needed to give up a position is what it was in his head, I could tell. And as soon as he saw me on the side of him, he just released brakes, rode around the outside of me, and then tried doing the same thing going down the roller coaster. And it's like, it was the dirtiest riding that I've seen in a while. I mean, I'm an aggressive rider. Like, all these guys in the front, like, we'll get aggressive if we need to, but that was, like, straight up unsafe. Like, I'm just plowing through you right now riding. So hopefully these guys do something about it, because if it was me, I would have been starting back of the pack tomorrow. I've seen it happen time and time again. That's why I've had to clean up my riding a whole lot. And, it was, yeah.
All right, thank you. Second place today, Cameron Beaubier gets his 10th podium of the year. You beat the guy you needed to, but I know you would have liked to have been beat one more guy. Bobby was he too strong? I mean, you were with him, and then he just kind of got away there. Was it a matter of just like, hey, I can't match this for the whole race?
Yeah, like you said, it was good to crawl a couple points back, but yeah, I mean, coming in here, we wanted to win. We always come. I mean, we come into every round wanting to win. But man, I think I can say, yeah, we had a little issue yesterday in first practice, and we didn't get a ton of dry time, but. Those are all excuses, Bob. He was on freaking rails. He was riding so good. I kept looking at my dash, and it was high 24s, mid 24s on used tires, and I was like, and then I saw our gap too, back to third, and I was just like, wow, like we are ripping. And it was only a matter of time where, I could hang on, or I had to kind of let him go. I was taking a lot of risks getting into the corners. To make up the lack of edge and drive grip I had compared to him. And so, but man, at the beginning, I was really happy with how I was riding. I was able to take some time back to him. I was probably half second to a second behind him, and I was able to close that down. And my bike is the best my bike has felt in a couple rounds now. So I'm really happy with that. We're trying a little bit different setup this weekend, and I think it's a good direction, and we're just going to keep trying to fine-tune it. So happy with how I rode at the beginning. Yes, we need to make some improvements on half race distance towards the end to run with this guy. But I mean, happy to be back at VIR and see what we can do tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Our winner today, Bobby Fong. It's his 3rd win in a row. He had won the last 2 races at Laguna Seca. You're suddenly a player in this championship. You probably don't want to say that, but you have to start feeling that way at this point. In that race, you're getting pressure from Cameron, and I know how highly you think of him. Is that a difficult guy to have right behind you?
I think both these guys behind you are definitely, it's always a concern for all of us. You know what I mean? Like, you could hear him too, and I could hear his bike. I knew it wasn't Josh because you always could hear the Ducati compared to the BMW. And I knew, like, I can tell, like, he was faster in some areas than me for sure, because you could hear the bike getting a lot closer. So I'm just like, I just got to keep my pace, keep my head down. And I was waiting for the moment for him to definitely make a move for sure. And it never came, fortunately for myself. But, like, we always been pretty good at the end of these races. The bike always sounds pretty good at the end of the races. And, we always kind of, somehow I managed to keep the same pace at the end. And we just got to keep doing our thing. It's going to be a long season. We got some tracks where these 2 dudes are definitely a step above me. So I need to work on some of the racetracks we're going to. So we're just going to keep our head down, and tomorrow is another day, and I'm sure Josh is going to find something overnight and be a lot closer, and same as this guy. So it's definitely going to be, I think, more of a dogfight tomorrow with all 3 of us, and hopefully my teammate Jake could be up there. He's had some pace here and there, and it would be good to see him back up here.
From watching it, you didn't make any mistakes, at least at what we saw on the television.
Yeah, I just try to stay steady out there. You know, like I was just trying to focus on my breathing and just hitting my marks and yeah, just really trying to just focus on breathing. This track could catch you off guard pretty easily if you rush something. You know, everything kind of connects out there, and I just had to back it up because in the beginning I felt like I was rushing some stuff and you're running a little wide and make a little mistake, just a little wide here and there, nothing too crazy, but I had to definitely back it down a notch in the middle of the race just to kind of hit my lines a little bit better because it was getting pretty damn greasy out there. It was slick for sure. So like I said, we just had to stay consistent and work on just a few things and just keep the positivity rolling.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks.
Questions? Good?